2. We're going to do some more writing this morning. Today we are going to be looking at writing those different sentence types that we looked at in yesterday's session. And so you are going to need some line paper, a pencil to write with, and maybe if you want to have a go at marking your own work, you will need some a green pen, a pink pen, and a purple polishing pen. If you want to use pencils, that's fine. And if you don't have those, that's fine as well. First of all, we're going to have a look at some of the fantastic work that you've been sending in to the Year 2 email address that we're really enjoying looking at. So here we go. Okay, the first piece of work we're looking at is by Fraser. Now, I am really impressed with how Fraser has applied the ly and ed suffix to lots of words in his note to Mum. He's also used some really fabulous adjectives to make his work more interesting. Well done. The next piece of work is from Havana. Well done on using the ed and ly suffixes, using those spelling rules correctly. I also like your choice of adjectives to describe the Northern Lights. You really put that picture in my mind. Well done. The next piece of work is from Chloe. Now, once again, Chloe has applied those ly and ed suffixes to words really well, remembering all those spelling rules. Well done. Also, I really like that you have pushed yourself to write quite a long note to Mum. Next piece of work is from Phoebe. Once again, we've got fantastic use of the ly and ed suffixes at the end of words using those spelling rules. I also really like how Phoebe has used her purple polishing pen to correct some mistakes. Well done. Okay, before we start today, we're going to warm up our brains a little bit. I've got 4 sentences here. I'll read them out in a moment. Can you identify the different sentence types? One of them's a statement, one of them's a question, one of them's a command, and one is an exclamation. I'll read them out now. Don't do that. Tom packed his bag and got ready. What a cold day it was. Where was he going? Pause the video now and have a think, or chat to your grown-up about which sentence is which type, and come back in a moment for a check. Let's have a look then. Don't do that. I was being a bit bossy then and telling you to do something or not to do something. It was a command. Tom packed his bag and got ready. I'm giving you information. I'm telling you what's happening. It's a statement. What a cold day it was. It starts with what and it has that exclamation mark at the end. It is an exclamation. Where was he going? That telltale question mark at the end tells us that this was a question. Did you get them right? Well done. Now today our learning objective is to write the different sentence types we looked at in the previous session. We're just going to remind ourselves of the 4 main types of sentence. First of all, we have statements. Statements are sentences that tell you something and they end with a full stop. Don't forget they start with a capital letter because all sentences do. The next sentence type we looked at was questions. We've looked at questions before in Year 2. Questions are sentences that ask you something and they end with a question mark. That gives you the clue. Commands are sentences that tell you to do something. They can be found in instructions, but they can also be urgent or angry. Sometimes they're very short. Sometimes they can end in an exclamation mark. You can be said to be being a bit bossy when you're giving a command, unless you're polite while you're doing it. Exclamations are probably the sentence type we're least familiar with. We don't use them very often. They are a little bit old-fashioned. An exclamation is a sentence that begins with what or how. It's a full sentence and it has a verb at the end. It always ends with an exclamation mark as well. That's why it's called an exclamation sentence. Okay, I'm going to be using the picture on screen to inspire me to write the different sentence types. Now, I'm going to start with a statement because statements are the sentence type I'm most familiar with, and all I have to do really is say what Tom is doing in the picture. What is Tom doing? Tom is trying to catch fish. So my sentence is going to be, Tom is trying to catch fish. So, because it's his name and because it's the start of a sentence, we are going to give Tom a capital letter. Tom is trying, making sure I'm adding my ing onto the end of the word, trying to catch fish. I'm giving some information. It is a statement. Tom is trying to catch fish. Now I'm going to get my pens out. I've got my green pen. What am I happy with? Ooh, I'm happy with my capital letter. It starts the sentence, so I'm green for grating it. I'm also happy that I remembered to add my ing suffix to the end of trying. Am I happy I popped a full stop at the end? Oh dear. Oh dear, I'm going to have to get the old pink pen out, do myself a little square because something is missing. And then I can go in with my purple pen and I can make sure I've popped that full stop at the end of my sentence. Tom is trying to catch fish. And this, of course, is a statement. Okay, the next sentence type I'm going to try is a question. Now remember, a question must be asking something. Looking at my picture, what could I ask? I could ask, where is Tom? I could ask, what is Tom doing? I could ask a question that relates to my statement, Tom is trying to catch fish. Maybe I will ask, what will he catch? What will he catch? Now I'm going to leave a line between my sentences. You don't have to, but it does make it nice and clear. So, all sentences, no matter what their type, all need to start with a capital letter. So I'm making sure my W is filling that line space. What? Now I know that's got the W-H at the beginning. I'm going to spell it like this because that's what it sounds like when I sound it out. What will he catch? Oh, I've got catch in my earlier sentence, so I could just copy the spelling from there because I was happy that that was right. What will he catch? Going to get my green pens out again. Okay, I'm going to give myself a green for great because I've started with a capital letter. And can I give myself, something missing at the end. So I'm going to give that the pink box because some punctuation is missing. I'm also going to wiggly pink line what because I'm not sure. I've used my phonics to sound it out, but I've got a funny feeling what is one of those funny words, a tricky word that doesn't follow the same rules. I think the O sound in what is actually A, so I'm going to put a purple line through my O, and just above it, I'm going to put my A. Now, is it a full stop at the end of my question? No, clue is in the name, it is a question mark. So I'm making sure I've got my question mark there. Okay, my third sentence type is a command. Remember, I can be a little bit bossy here. I've got to tell someone what to do. Who am I going to tell? I'm going to tell Tom what to do. What do I want him to do? Well, I'm feeling hungry, so I want him to catch a big fish. So my command will be, catch a big one. I'm being a bit bossy, but Tom will understand, I'm sure. Now, I've already used the word catch twice already, so I'm happy. But this time, because it's at the beginning of my sentence, it needs to have a capital letter. catch a big one. Catch a big one. Catch a big one. Sorry for being bossy, Tom. Let's get my green pen out. Yes, once again, I've got that capital letter at the beginning of my sentence, and I think I'm happy with all the spellings there. But I can see that once again, silly old Mrs. Haynes has missed out the end punctuation of the sentence. Now, catch a big one. I could just pop a full stop there. But because I'm being a bit urgent, and maybe a bit angry, maybe a bit hangry because I'm hungry and angry, I could give it an exclamation mark. It doesn't make it an exclamation sentence. It just tells me that I'm being a bit urgent in my command. Now my final sentence type is probably the most tricky because it's the one that we don't really come across that often. It's an exclamation sentence. Now we know there are certain rules for those. It needs to start with what or how. It needs to end in an exclamation mark, but also it needs to end in that verb. It's a bit of an old-fashioned way of talking. Now I'm looking at my picture and I'm noticing that igloo in the background. Tom has done an absolutely amazing job with that igloo, so I want to praise him for it. And I want to say, what a lovely igloo. But I must put my verb at the end. What a lovely igloo that is. Okay, now I'm not going to make the same mistake as I made up here with my question. If I'm starting with what, I already know my spelling. Once again, capital letter to start that sentence. What? Got my A making the O sound this time. What a lovely igloo. O at the end for the oo. What a lovely igloo that is. And I know it's an exclamation sentence, so this time I'm not going to forget. I must end it with an exclamation mark. Let me get my green pen out. I've started with my capital letter, and I've started as well with that what, so I'm very pleased with that. And I've ended with my verb, and I've ended with my exclamation mark. Okay, before it's your turn, we're just going to have a little look at our Chili challenges. Now, Chili 1, I'm going to ask you to use the pictures that are coming up to write statement sentences. Just tell me what you can see, what is happening in the picture. Chili 2, I'd like you to use the pictures to write a variety of statements, questions and commands. If you're not sure, remember you can look back in the video at the slides where we saw each of the sentence types. They give you examples so that it can give you some ideas. Chili 3, can you write an exclamation sentence? They are a little bit trickier, but I would absolutely love to see some. Here's the moment that Tom spies a familiar tent in the distance. What statement could you write? What is Tom doing? Could you ask him a question? Can you give him a command? Can you even think of an exclamation sentence to write about this picture? Pause the video now and have a go. Welcome back. Here's the moment where Tom and Dad are rescued by the helicopter. What statement could you write? What question could you ask? Could you give a command? Can you even think of an exclamation? Pause the video now and have a go. Here's the book's final picture. Dad and Tom are safe and are having some lovely hot chocolates and marshmallows around a campfire. What statement could you write about this picture? Could you ask Dad and Tom any questions? Could you give them some commands? Can you think of an exclamation? In a moment, pause the video and have a go at this picture. Don't forget, I absolutely love seeing your work coming through on the Year 2 email address, so please don't forget to take a picture of your photos and send them in to me. You might earn yourself a dojo point. Good luck and take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.